So, I'm gonna move down to Wilmington, right? It's just right off the coast, and I will be attending Cape Fear Community College for 2 years in their marine technology program. And after my 2 years, I will go straight into either UNCW using credits and I'll just transfer, or if that doesn't work out, I'll go straight into a career.
If you were to describe yourself as a leader, like what kind of leader are you?
I would say I'm a really good listener. I need to work kind of on the feedback part, but that's something I've been kind of working on since I started lead. But I would say I'm really able to listen, or just to sit down and listen to somebody, listen to exactly what they want fixed, what they need fixed, what they're having problems with. And I feel like that's a very strong point to have, a very beneficial point to have.
Tell me about your high school experience, particularly thinking about like from ninth grade till now. How do you feel like you've grown, changed, matured? What lessons have you learned, etc.?
Freshman year, I was very to myself. I didn't talk to anybody until later on in freshman year when I went on like an ROTC trip and I met a bunch of people. And then once I met those people, I met more people. And then I just learned kind of the more connections you have, the easier things are going to be, because connections are also something that led me into lead.
Tell me about the group. Tell me about, and I feel like you have a little bit of an advantage coming off the trip now because nobody else had been on the trip yet. So tell me about the group and like, just like the brotherhood and learning how to work with each other and stuff like that.
So that was definitely a part of it, and it taught me a lot because the first, I'd say year, it was just like Jared and I, and like we were super close, and then all the other guys, they were super close. And then until probably this year is when we saw it the most, and we started to really include everybody, and we started talking more to everybody. And I think it was after a meeting that we had, and you kind of brought it up, and I don't think any of us realized how separate we were until you brought that up. We've come a really long way once again with our connections, and because I knew a bunch of them from like middle school and elementary school, but if you were to ask me, like, how would I explain that person or describe that person, I would have no idea, because I'd just be like, oh yeah, that's some guy that used to go to my school. But now I feel like I know everybody so much better that I could actually give you a amazing description and let you know how awesome they are.
So thinking about your future, how do you want to impact your community in the future?
I just want to teach people how to tolerate one another, because the opinions that people find little, they take it nitpicky and they just pick out each little thing that they don't agree with, and then they turn that into an argument, and then arguments turn to people turning against one another. But once people do turn against one another, nothing runs smoothly, nothing at all. We saw that especially last year, 2020. It's just tolerate one another, be patient, things are going to turn out just fine as long as you're willing to put in the work. My name is Kaleb Retelski, and this is my lead senior story.